Right now, Wemby is absolutely on fire. He's been killing OKC, so we got to break this down and see what he's doing so that you can also do this as well. You don't need to be 7'6" with a 20 million foot wingspan. You can do this in your game today. Let's get down and let's check out Wemby and some of his IQ and why nobody can guard him. Okay, so the first thing that we are seeing right here after this steal is the fast break. And obviously, the Spurs have great spacing, right? There is Wemby right there. Now, even though he is trailing the play, that doesn't mean that he's walking. He is still jogging, sprinting, whatever. He's running fairly quickly down court. While the shot goes up, he doesn't just stop way back here. He continues to crash the boards and he becomes physical trying to get that ball. Now, it takes him a few tries to get that basket, but he still does. One of the biggest mistakes that players will make when they're playing in an actual game is they will say, oh, my team has an advantage. I'm just going to walk down court and expect them to be able to score the ball. You can never expect that. And if you can be like Wemby, for example, and crash those boards, you could get yourself potentially 2 to 8 points or maybe even more every single game just on those offensive rebounds alone. Now, obviously, this is easier to say because it is Wemby, but he's coming up to set this screen. When he sets the screen, he doesn't roll straight to the basket. He kind of pops, but then he still crashes the boards afterwards and gets those 2 points. Again, board man gets paid. He had over 40 points in this game and he got his team a win. And the biggest reason is potentially the fact that he fights for those rebounds. Obviously, there are plays like this where when he catches that ball off of that screen, he can just go straight up and score. Now, while you may not be able to dunk like he does right here, you can still take a tip from his game. When you set that screen and roll, so he just set that screen and he's currently rolling to the basket. The biggest mistake that a lot of players will make is when they receive that pass, they will dribble the ball. And if they dribble the ball and there's 2 defenders around them, potentially a third coming, guess what? You're going to lose that ball. Wemby catches it, keeps it up high, it keeps it above his chin level, and then he's still able to dunk. Again, I'm not saying that you are going to be dunking exactly like him, but if you catch that ball and dribble in the low post and you got that off of a screen and your back was to the basket, that's a horrible decision. You're going to probably get the ball stolen from you. However, if you catch and pivot and look at the rim before you take that dribble, you could potentially just put up a floater and you're going to be all set. Okay, so right here, he was posting up his man because obviously he has a massive height advantage. And if we rewind it just a little bit further, he has his hand up. He is shielding his man from the ball. He has his hand up. He is calling. He is giving a target. That's a target right there for the player to pass him the ball, Castle to pass him the ball. Now, when he receives that pass, he does not dribble right away. The first thing he does in that post is he is looking over his shoulder for weak side cutters or potentially a baseline cutter. Those cutters are not there. So he takes one dribble right here. And when he takes that dribble, he doesn't collect it. He doesn't just waste his dribble. He at this time turns and pivots just slightly and takes a second dribble. On this second dribble, he now sees who potentially could be trying to double team him. Because obviously there's a massive mismatch and you need to throw 2 bodies at him if he has a mismatch. So now, coming out of that second dribble, he notices that this man goes just slightly too far. Holmgren is not coming down to help, which means that if this defender is going towards that side, he needs to go the opposite way, and that's exactly why he was able to score here. He was looking over his back to see where the defenders were and where the cutters were. See, a lot of players, they'll catch that ball in the post and look to dribble right away, or they'll potentially just catch the ball no matter where they are on the court and dribble right away. You can't do that in all situations. You want to be able to know who's around you and who's going to be cutting. You could always be the type of player who wants to try and score first, but if you don't look at your teammates as an option, you become very easy to guard. Now, coming off of this screen and roll, they used him in a lot of screens. There's a couple of things that we've seen. So obviously right here, that wasn't exactly the best screen possible, but for some reason, they go off, OKC goes off and double teams the ball. That leaves Victor Wemenyama wide open to now post up against Chet. Now, this is the matchup that I was personally looking forward to. Obviously, in this game, they had a lot of guards trying to defend Wemby. I would have rather seen Chet try to defend him, but Wemby has gotten really strong recently, and obviously he came into the league super thin, but now he's kind of bulked up kind of a little bit, quite a bit actually. And here, we can actually see him body Chet. Like if Chet was really nothing, he's able to create that gap. He's obviously double teamed, but here he hits Chet, and Chet backs up quite far, and you can actually see a massive difference in the shoulders as well with Wemby versus Chet. Wemby has been obviously working out. Obviously, he's still a slender player, but he's never going to be one of those very wide, thick centers. But he's going to be having a very strong presence, and he's a very strong dude now. And because he's able to move Chet out of the way, he's able to score quite easily. Chet needs to work out. He needs to get big like Victor. I can't believe I said that. Victor's big, and I don't mean tall. He's very strong. Now, I'll put this into slow motion, and you can actually see the difference in just the shoulders and as well as the strength alone. Just being able to go right through Chet. He's a very strong player. Now, before I can go on to the biggest tips of this video so that you can become a better center or a better shooting guard, because with Victor, he's one of the best centers, but he can kind of play shooting guard as well if you really think about it. So if you want to be a better center or shooting guard, make sure to go check out the shooting guard and center blueprints that are down in the description below so that you can have better basketball IQ, but also the workouts to get stronger and more skilled so that, of course, you can dominate like Wemby. Now, this is what I mean by shooting guard for Wemby. When Wemby gets that board, he outlets down court, he gets that ball back, and he pulls for essentially a logo shot. He has nobody guarding him. Nobody is close. They're not expecting him to shoot that shot, but he shoots it, and he's very accurate with it as well. In today's game, you need to be able to shoot the ball if you're a center. If you can't shoot, you're basically giving up a good half of your game, because you need to be able to stretch the defense in today's game. You also need to be able to drive as well. And there's a good tip that I can give you. Obviously, he smashed that thing down. But there is something that Wemby does right about here that is very smart. While he's standing there, his shoulders are quite a bit higher than that defender's. But he knows that he needs to get low so that he can have leverage to be able to get past this defender. Leverage as in to move him the heck out of the way. And that's exactly what we see right here. He gets his shoulder, his lead shoulder, lower than the defender's shoulder. That allows him to have leverage to get past this man. He keeps the ball high and then he dunks it. So if you want to become a better player, these are some tips that you can incorporate into your game so that you can copy Wemby, even though you may not be 7'6". So make sure to go check out the shooting guard and center blueprints so that you can become smarter, stronger, and more skilled basketball players. I'll see you guys again in my next video.